Good kill, good kill. Hey, good kill.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Tomcat video. As you guys can tell, I'm kind of in the mood for some Top Gun stuff, so we're back with the Tomcat. This time we are in the A model, and we're going to be fighting a Chinese J-11 flanker flown by the last Taco. You guys may remember him from earlier videos. He should be able to put up quite the challenge here today. The F-14A, I suspect, should struggle against the flanker. Into the one circle turn here. Now I came in somewhat fast, but I'm using a little bit of vertical to make up for that, and I'm feeling pretty good about my situation so far, but I don't want to get overconfident. This could easily turn quickly. So the flanker is one of those aircraft that should immediately go off in your head as, you know, dominant one circle fighter. Very, very good one circle fighter, so naturally in the Tomcat I will try to keep him two circle. Remember that I have the A model, which means I am prone to compressor stalls. For the most part I've trained that out and I hardly ever get them, but when you get them they tend to be in the worst moments, like right as you're trying to jink and survive a gun solution or something, you lose an engine. So we're going to hope for the best here. As you can see, I am really working hard here to keep him in the two circle. And it's not like I dominate him in the two circle. The flanker is pretty decent even here, especially in the hands of a competent foe like Taco here. As you can see, we are in the rate fight now on the deck with very slight winning cues that just went the other way. Yeah, those are losing cues now. So he is offensive, I am defensive. Pretty significant losing cues. He has an altitude advantage. If things get real hairy for me, I will throw the flaps down in order to get a little bit more performance. Yes, it will jam the flaps, but if I survive, that's worth it, right? Jammed flaps over being shot down, I think that's worth it. But, you know, desperation. In a moment of desperation, we'll do that. So far, just want to make sure I don't hit the ground here. Now, almost hitting the ground there and being a little slow has given him an opportunity to get a nose on here. So I kind of cashed that in. He's slow too, so we're going over the top. We're going for the vertical. Hopefully he won't be able to follow this. And it looks like he's struggling. Look at that, he's stuck in lag. I can see the top part of his aircraft, which tells me he is stuck in lag currently. And look at this. Look at this, we're in a vertical fight. I'm working very hard to not hit the ground. Oh boy, this is a tough one. He's playing chicken with me to see who's gonna be too scared and maybe hit the ground or, you know, ditch out of this little vertical fight that's so close to the ground. And I'm not gonna chicken out, I'm gonna do another one. Oh my god. This vertical fight's actually going somewhat decently for me. This is turning into quite the dogfight here. Oh, I'm scared. I can't do another roll. I have to maneuver in relation. Oh my god, he's almost got me. Oh no. Oh, he's so close. Alright. Okay, I'm throwing the flaps down. I'm just outside of his ability to pull lead. You can see he's working really hard to try to pull lead. We got flaps down now. I'm desperate. And look at this. He's slow and I'm outrating him. Oh, I'm getting away. I'm getting away. Look at this. Our losing queues are turning into winning queues. We're going offensive. And he's slow. Here we go. Come on, give me a lock, baby. Come on. Work with me. Come on. There we go. Oh, he's so slow. Come on. Just let it happen, buddy. I'm gonna dump all the gun on him right here. Come on. Yes. Yes! Dude, I dumped every single round. The gun is empty. Splash 1 flanker, fantastic fight. We have to check this out on Tacview. Alright guys, let's do our Tacview review for one of the closest fights I've had in a very long time. Here we are going to the merge almost Mach 1, and he's coming in, where's his Mach? So he's coming in 8.3, so a little bit slower than me. And so therefore what I'm going to do, he wants the one circle obviously. I don't really make too much of an effort to deny that to him, because I didn't have the turning room. You know, if I had established some sort of turning room, I could have forced him to turn across my tail. We could have had a 2 circle going. I didn't really make that effort, so what I did instead, I just let him have that 1 circle. If you remember, I would have had wings swept like this, because I was close to Mach 1, and he would have seen that as he went by, so he would have known, you know, my energy state and all that kind of stuff. Naturally, because I'm so fast, I'm going to use a little bit of the vertical, exchange that kinetic energy for gravitational potential, and also it kind of fixes a geometry problem for me. If I just turn here, my circle is going to be huge because of how fast I am, right? But if I use a little bit of vertical, I can kind of fix this displacement that's going on here. You know, this kind of fixes that. I travel a longer distance. This will be longer than this. Right, a little bit of geometry there just kind of fixes that problem for me. I try to roll over the top, point my nose at him. And remember that I am trying to force the 2 circle fight, right? And he's trying to do counter 2 circle stuff. Yeah, we'll get rid of this. And so what you see here is a rolling scissor developing, which, you know, sometimes it can look like you're chasing his tail, but you know, this is very clearly, like, it makes you think you might be in a 2 circle. I've had that illusion in the past, but this is very much a rolling circle, a rolling scissor. And it's definitely where he wants to be, right? Relative to me. And he's winning it. He's winning it. My lift vector placement was not perfect in that, and therefore he kind of wins it. And I'm just going to ditch out from here to the 2 circle. Right, I basically lost that 1 circle. I'm going to ditch. And this is where we run into the problem of him outrating me for a little bit. So as you can see, we do enter here with him kind of in an offensive position. He's slightly winning here. And as you can see, as it develops, we do end up with him pointing his nose at me here. Or he tries to, at least. And so this actually is somewhat neutral. So I'm feeling pretty good here until right around here. This is when I start to notice it's right from here where I start to really see the losing cues. You can see him moving on to my 6. And I just want you to see exactly how close this comes. So if we just we click on him, and we're going to go inside and have a look at his HUD. So this is the flanker's HUD. This is what he was seeing. You see this little thing that was here, it just came in, it looks like this. It's a vector indicator. This is the flight path of where you're headed. And so what he wants to do is put that in front of me, and that'll give him lead to take the shot, right? But watch how it is always just a little bit behind. Look at this. And you see my G's building for, it went up to like 5 or something there for a second. I was trying to tighten the turn down a little bit and deny that gunshot. And look at that, it's just behind. And at this point I make the assessment, I'm like, he is pulling hard to get me into the HUD. He must be slow. And I turn out to be right. You can see here at an indicator of 207. And so what I do is I'm like, okay, if that's the case, I'm going to take the vertical. And so I start doing that. Start climbing away. Remember to watch his little vector indicator here. And notice how he just can't get it up because I go into the vertical. He can't, no pun intended. He can't get the nose up in order to take a shot. And you can see I'm kind of getting away from him here. So we'll switch back to the aircraft. And so this is really where I feel like the fight kind of started. You got to kind of look at your bandit. You got to assess his energy state. You got to be like, okay, he just pulled me in the HUD for a high aspect shot and didn't get it. So therefore he must be slow, right? Like you can see from here when he decides that he's going to pull me into the HUD. Look at his true airspeed 270, Mach 0.42. And then watch this, as he starts pulling me into the HUD, he's going to bleed some of that off. And you should be, like, that's generally going to be the case. He's going to bleed and exchange his kinetic energy for nose position. And that's what he's doing here. He's bleeding that off. You see he's getting slower and slower and slower and slower. So you're going to make the assessment. He pulled me into the HUD to take a shot. He failed to take a shot, or he missed, right? Look at him. He's at Mach 0.27 now. And so then I'm like, all right, vertical, right? He must be slow, and I'm in a bad situation. It was a little bit of desperation. We're going to go for the vertical. And as you can see, he just could not get that nose on. Just couldn't climb with the Tomcat. And then we'll bring back those lines, the ribbons. Okay, we'll get rid of this. And so from here, I feel like is kind of where things started to turn. This is where we started to have the chicken fight of who's gonna, you know, chicken out. And it looks like it was me. It looks like I freaked out and I kind of gave it up, which is essentially what gives him the position on my 6 here. And this is where we start to move towards the part where, you know, I'm gonna put the flaps down. So right here, he's looking for a gunshot. You can see he's still pure. He still has not been able to get, you know, lead. Lead is gonna be, he needs his nose like this so he can shoot here, all right? And he just doesn't have that yet. But you can tell he's moments away from getting it. Right, also if we look at the energy state, he's got Mach 0.35. I have a little bit more than him still, and you can see me trying to pull G's build aspect. And at this point I'm like, and look at the turn rate, we're up to 17.9 now. 18. And I start pulling away from him. This is when I drop the flaps, 18, 19. So I just went from 13 to like 18, 19, 17. And you can see he's at 13 degrees. TRT is the degrees a second that he's getting. And you can see that he's getting like 9.2 because he's so slow, right? And I'm getting away from him. He has to ditch out of the fight essentially in order to regain some speed. And maybe try to reset the fight or something. But unfortunately for him, it's going to be too late. The Tomcat comes all the way around. And I'm going to bring him in. I'm going to bring him in for a high aspect shot here. Except he kind of ditches out. So he realizes he's in a gun wes. And he has to jink. Right? That's the solution in his head. Am I in a gun wes? Yes, jink. right? So here he goes. He starts jinking. And, you know, out of plane maneuvers and jinking and all this stuff. But he comes up here and he gets slow, right? He's almost floating there in the sky at Mach 0.26. And I just start absolutely spraying rounds. I've never dumped so many rounds on a target before. And he does a really nice like matrix dodge of that first one. Look at that. It's like, phew, right underneath. He unfortunately catches a little bit of the second spray. And the third spray just absolutely tears him up. And he's dead. And I just kept ripping him. Unfortunately, I can't do a slow motion replay of that as much as I want to. The track was corrupted. That's how it is sometimes with the Tomcat. So unfortunately, I couldn't get that. But there it is, guys. All right, thank you for watching. Big thank you to the Last Taco for flying the flanker for us today. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.